Okay, once again, we have gathered another day for us to start and continue what we started last week. I think is good. What we did, we are so far, we've configured the NTP and we configured the Syslog as well, the service. And we make sure that the BFR1, which is the router one, have to have a time and also the message log on to both servers. So this morning, as we have gathered once again, you are welcome. And let us start and continue for today's topics. Because today we are coming to configure the router 3. Router 3 purposely for support SSH, the secure shell. So we'll be configuring the SSH on router 3. So that is for today. Thank you very much. At least come on board and let us all come together to study and make ourselves approved unto IT. And CCNA above all. Thank you. Now, what we is have for us to do is that last week, as we configured everything, we configured the BFR1, BFR2, BFR3, and we make sure that all of them can have access to the NTP server and the Syslog, that is a system login messages. Should in case maybe somebody send a message, at least the router will send a message to the server. The server also will send a message to the router for both of them to know that, okay, such a person has logged in this time and this date. And this is the machine that a person used to log inside the system. So it's good for us all to come together and study. Thank you very much, and let's start our class. We are waiting for the rest to come on board so that we can start together. That's what we have to do. Let us now, we are once again back where we end. We are about to start configuring the BFR3 as a SSH. So I want you to click on the note, that is a place note, click, and we'll configure this one as what? SSH. Okay, SSH router. We'll configure this one as SSH router. Okay, yes, so this one is, we are going to configure the router 3, BFR3 as what? SSH router. We are on the security zone because everything that you will do, make sure that have to be what? Security. Don't leave a configuration behind in such a way that somebody will come and configure the security aspect for you. Other than that, it's like a person is trampling on your integrity. So it's now time for us to configure the SSH that can support. You said configure router 3 to support SSH connections. Okay, so we are going to configure router 3, that is BFR3, to support SSH. So I want us to enter inside our router 3. Let's enter through the console cable. Click on the laptop, just click on desktop, then the terminal, then click on it. When you click, it will access password. You know the password already. We did that, that was last week. So the EN, the actual password. So you go to config T, that is configure terminal. Let's try our best to configure this one. Okay, now we are going to configure domain name. So for us to configure the SSH, we have to first configure the domain name. We have to first configure. Okay, so let's continue. We are on the config, that is configuration mode. I said let's configure the domain name. Okay, so let's type IP domain -name, then bigfirm.com. Is that? Yes, it's a good question you ask. We want to, because when you check the screen, we have BFSSH client. Now, this particular client is for administrator. And for administrator to enter into the router, we don't want to use the console cable, but we want to use either crossover cable or straight through cable. You understand? Because all this while we'll be entering inside the router with what? Console what? Cable. So for you to configure the SSH, then it means that you want to use the crossover what? Cable. Okay? You want to use the crossover cable. It's in, and also it serves as a security. It serves as a security. Let's say, for instance, you have end up forgetting the password of what? The console. You can pass through the crossover cable entering inside the router with what? SSH. Because you want that line to be secure. Are you following it? We want that line to be secure. You know, for administrator to enter into a particular router or a particular device, you need line. One of those lines are what? Console line. And we have VTY what? Line. Virtual trunk line. So if virtual trunk line, we have 16 lines. So you, the network administrator or the Cisco network administrator, you have to try your best and choose which line you want to concentrate so that you can use to enter inside the router. It also serves as what? A security. Because what we are trying our best to configure is a security what? Configuration. Everything is about security. Are you following it? So now, I said, let us configure the SSH here. We've been passing through the laptop to enter. So can we also pass through the client machine, which is the PC, to enter the router? Yes. By so doing, we have to configure what? The SSH. So now, we want to set the SSH configuration on the router. That is what we started earlier. And we haven't finished. So the first thing that you have to do, you have to create what? A domain. And all of us know what a domain means. So let's go on. So I said create IP, then domain name is what? bigfirm.com. It's now time for us to create SSH user. Because if you have a domain name, the username is administrator. Is that not it? Yes. Every security door, there is a key to that door. But there is what? A custodian to that key. When you are coming from your respective home, you have your keys. The key becomes what? A secure shell to your door. But because the key belongs, the door and the room belongs to you, you have the keys. And who is the one holding the key? Oh, it's Jeff. Because the room belongs to you. Do you understand? Unless maybe you want to add another person to the key. Then you become what? Two, which your brother can enter, and you two, you can what? You can also enter. So it's time for us to create a user that can use the SSH what? Line. Are you following it? So when you check, it says what? HTTPS 443. It's SSH. So shall we go inside the system to check for the SSH port number? Okay. Press on Windows E. Press on Windows E. Then go straight to Drive C. Double click on Drive C. Then go to Windows. Then inside Windows, look for System 32. System 32. Then look for drivers. Then you look for etc. Then look for services. Double click on services, open it with Notepad. Open it with Notepad. Now, I want you to look at the name server. Look at the where we have the echo side from the beginning up. Look for 443. I want just you guys to look for the numbers over here. Okay, just go down, down, down. Yes, when you reach the 400 column, then you just stop. I say we have the 443 HTTPS, and is what we have the TLS and we have the SSL. Eh? Now let's go and look for the SSH. Let's go to this side, but they're the same place. Let's go. Let's go down. Have you seen it? I just passed, eh? 20. Okay, Teresa said it's 22. Let's check. Okay, look at it. SSH. You see, it's 20 what? 2. So if it's 22 port, it means that it's for secure what? Shell. So 22 is for connections, but it's communication. So it's a secure shell. But whenever it comes to the 448, that is where we have what? HTTPS. Are you following it? Yes. That is it's also a secure service. So that is what I was talking about. Let's close it and go back to our configuration. And let's configure. It said we are going to create a user ID. And we are going to call that user ID BF admin. So let's type user name. You type username, then you type BF admin 1. BF admin 1. BF admin 1. BF admin 1. Okay, so what you have to do is that bring the question tag. You say that we have privilege. It said set user privilege level. Set user privilege level. Set user privilege level. You can either choose security or you can either choose password. But if you choose password, the system will give you the password in a text form. But when you choose a privilege, you want to answer a question. Space space BF admin 1, then space, then the question, shift and the question tag. SSH is the command. You are asking what is the difference between the SSH and the VTY. VTY is a line and SSH is a command. Do you understand? Like somebody is asking you, what is the difference between human being and a name? Do you understand? Human being and a name. The human being bears the name. And the name is identification of a human being. So there are a lot of lines. We have from 0 to 15 lines. Line you want to pass through, line. So those lines are called a VTY. But after you have chosen a line, you must configure the line to accept what? SSH. I hope you understand. So you must configure a line to accept SSH. Thank you very much, Aziz, for asking such a wonderful question. Okay, now we are on what? BF. So choose what? Privilege. Choose privilege. You type privilege. Then you bring the question tag. You see that it says user privilege level is 1 to 15. You are going to choose what? 15. Okay, it's a security. Choose 15. Then when you bring the question tag again, you will see password and the secret. Let's choose secret. Let's choose secret. So that our password has to be in the form of punctuation, symbols, at underscore, upper score, any other thing that you think of. Capital, small letters, numbers, alphanumerics. So the rest of what you have to type is your password. Remember, I said P at SSW0 RD12. That is our password. So I said for you to configure the SSH, you have to first configure the domain what? Name. Then the second one, you have to configure the user ID. Then give the user ID a privilege, a security what? Password. They are all secure. Something that at least outsiders cannot have access to. It's not like the normal thing that we are doing, because now we have to gallop to a certain level. We have reached a certain stage that at least you are not drinking milk, but rather you are chewing bones. You have to chew bones. They say milks are for toddlers. Is that not it? But if you grow and you reach 18, 20, at least your bones are strong now, so you have to crack bones. Okay? So let's go on. Enter. So that is that for user ID. Username BF admin1. Privilege is 15. Security, you type the password. Now the next step for us to do is to configure the VTY, the line that we want the SSH to pass through. Are you following it? Yes, we want the line. So type line. Then bring the question tag. You see that we have AUX, which is auxiliary. We have auxiliary. Do you understand? They are all communication lines. We have console. Are we using console? Yes, we are using console, which means that we were using console, but we end up configuring the console, putting password on it. Now we have the VTTY, which is the terminal controller. Then we have the VTY, virtual terminal. Then we have the slot, sub-slot, port for modems. That will come along with this one, and we'll configure that one as well. So let's choose what? VTY. Then bring the question tag. Now, how many lines do we have? If probably you are counting in a normal number, in our standard number, how many numbers do we have over there? From 0 to 15 will be 16. So it means that 16 lines. Do you understand? So we are going to take only 4 out of what? The 15. They are taking 4 out of 15. And that 4 that we will take is what we are going to use it to protect our network. Out of the rest there, they are there. Whenever you want to use them to do something, then you go in for those lines also. Are you following it? You have 6 rooms, or you have 10 rooms, or 12 rooms. But he said, okay, let me take 5 rooms to do a lot of things on my own. The rest of the rooms, I will use it to do something later. Nobody can catch you. So 0 to 4, 0 space 4. We are taking from 0 to 4. So how many lines? How many lines? 5 lines. Thank you very much, Kelly. Okay, enter. Guys, are you there? Okay. I sometimes forget that you are on. Sorry, because you are far end. You isolated yourself from the guys. Let's go. Okay, so now let's type login local. Login local. You are logging inside a system local because of the administrator account. So login local. Then, because we are going to configure the SSH, I want you to press the shift and the tab key. The shift and the shift and the question tag. Shift and the question tag. Then, can you see transport? How do you want the line to be transported? Oh, I want the line to be transported based on SSH. I want the line to be transported based on telnet. I want the line to be transported based on both telnet and what? SSH. But strictly, we want to choose what? SSH. So, are you following it? Okay, those lines that you have chosen, how do you want those lines to be? I want them to transport. I want them to transport messages based on what? SSH. I want them to transport. You can create a line, and that line, you can tell people that this line is only leading you to the washroom. Yes. Oh, this line, it leads you to the bedroom. You can change it. This line, it leads you straight to the kitchen. You can't change it. No matter what you do, you can't change, because that is how you have made those lines. So sometimes when you enter somebody's house, you see that he's having an avenue of lines. Okay, this place. Oh, please, can I visit your washroom? Oh, come here. Have you seen? The person will direct you, because the person has made that line as what? Washroom lane. And the person has also, oh, I want to just go and drink water. Oh, come here. Then it takes you to what? The kitchen side. You see how the thing is. So you can see we have transport. The last one, can you see when you press on the shift and the question tag, there is a transport there. So how do you want the line to be transported? Type transport. Transport. Then bring the shift and the question tag. Shift and the question tag. So the transport, we have input, transport, input, and we have what? Output. Input and what? Output. So in and out. So now if input, let's press on question tag. What do you see there? You see all, which means that you want this particular input to accept either SSH or telnet. You see? So if you choose all, then it means that your line is accepting telnet and what? SSH. It's telecommunication. That is the word, the telnet. Telecommunication network. Then SSH, secure what? Share. And SSH is much more higher than telnet. They are all for communication. So we are strictly choosing, we want to choose what? SSH. Are you following it? But there is a command for telnet. It's the same. You see how we are configuring the SSH. The same thing, but if you reach here, you only choose what? Telnet. But we are choosing what? SSH. So choose SSH and let's go on and enter. Now, first one, we configure what? For you to configure the SSH, you have to configure what first? Kelly. You have to configure the domain name followed by Buba. Second, you have to configure what? First, I asked Kelly to configure the SSH on your router. You have to configure what first, and he said, you have to configure the domain name. The second one is what? You have to configure the user ID. Teresa, the third one is that the live VTY. Okay, so the fourth one, we are now coming to configure the crypto key for SSH. And the word crypto means hidden. Okay, yeah, that is why we have cryptocurrency. The word crypto means what? Hidden. It's a hidden, like to hid something. It's a Greek word, to hide something. That is why when you are typing your password, it comes in the dot dot dot, but those dot dot behind carries what? Alphanumerics, characters. Uh, that's why we have cryptocurrency. You see, cryptocurrency. So somebody will tell you, Charlie, I have my crypto key here. Can you wire something for me? And you will see with some long numbers. Give it to the person, you just send it, then they appear. Those numbers that you are seeing is a code for the person. Nowadays, the police people, they have this thing, uh, uh, this they have cryptocurrency code. Uh, they will tell you that if they stop you and they ask you something and you said, okay, oh, we have suffered for long, at least give us something. Oh, I don't have anything with me. Oh. Don't worry, I have my Bitcoin. That my it's just by the way, these are police service personnel there. But they have to do that, okay? Sometimes they will stand at the roadside for long. Oh, they'll be getting money, but at least we have to be good to them because look, a policeman will stand at the barrier around 11, 12, getting to 1 to the following 4 o'clock. Just is protecting it. That is his job, but it's not, it's no bribe. It's just asking you that give us something to buy battery. Battery to put the torch. They bet the torch they use battery. But if they are going to charge, they use this thing. They charge, but they use electricity. Shall we continue? Okay, so now we are going to configure what we call the crypto. Okay, crypto. Now I want us to do something. We have what we call the RSA. So let us configure the crypto. So type exit. Now press shift and the question tag. Shift and a question tag. Can you see crypto here? Look, they've written crypto. Is that not it? It said encryption what? Model. Model. Encryption model. Every word that comes out of your mouth, you have to what? Encrypt it. Sometimes modify it. There are some words that if you definitely know that those words that they are coming out of my mouth is not good, you have to be very careful of what saying it. Don't say it and later on you start regretting. Sometimes you have to crypto your language. That is why old people they have some verbals. That is they crypto them. Some do alongside with some signs. And you are there, your mother will give you sign with an eye blink, telling you something. Because in Africa, we have a lot of ways of communicating. It's a part of crypto, hidden, but they don't understand. But we understand our communication. You understand? So in crypto said what? Encryption is what? Model. So let's type the crypto. Then bring the question tag again. You see the key. So in every crypto models, there are key. So type the key, then bring the question tag. We have generate and we have Xerox. It's two things over there. If you have never generated a crypto key before, you have to choose generate. But if you have already generated it before, then it means you have to choose what? The zeros to delete the old one. Let's say, for instance, you went to, they call you to configure a router, and they said, oh, this router that you are about to configure, they have already created crypto on it. So for you to clear the crypto, you have to choose what? Xerox. But if that router has not been configured before, and now you are about to configure it, which is fresh, you generate your own key. It's fresh. You understand? You generate, that is why we have the generate, and we have what they say, what? Remove keys, and the generate new what? Keys. If you are going to rent a place and the place, you find out that the place is not secure, after renting, you can change your own lock because you met the lock and now you want to change the lock. Is it not the same lock? You went and met the key. You can remove the key and generate another what? Key. But right now, this is a fresh router. We've not tackled it. We're about to configure everything. So the only thing that you have to do, generate. You choose generate. Then RSA. Then enter. RSA. Then enter. RSA. Then you enter. It's a model name. Yes. It's a key login name. Look, it said the name for the keys will be what? Check. So just imagine you said, I will configure the domain name. You try your best, put a router down, start generating the crypto key and see. The system will tell you you've not configured domain name. You understand? But because you have already configured the domain name, it's telling you that bfr3.bigfirmword.com. Now we have how many bits in the modulars? Let's choose 1024, which is megabit, megabyte, 1024. You can either choose, because 512 times 2 give us what? 1024. Okay, megabyte. Enter. Generating 1024 bits RSA keys. Key will be non-exportable. We are done with creating of keys. No, you let him ask first. To configure the wireless router. No, it is different. Yeah, that one is different. Because it's a wireless router. Aziz, you were asking something. Okay, the RSA, the RSA in general is a. Let me just explain things to you. You know, it's a public key uh, crypto, like a public key generation crypto. Okay, and it's a older key, eh? Like a key that you can use, not in private but public. Some are transportable, some are not transportable. But he said when you check, I'm coming. We have what we call reversed Shaman Adleman. That is a RSA. Reversed Shaman Adleman. And he said it's a public key crypto system, one of the oldest widely used to secure data transmission. Though it's old, but yes, still we are what? We are using it. So he said this particular key was introduced in 1977. It has been long. And it's not any other key than a key that you can do something for somebody not to know what you have done, but you know what you did. The patterns we have on the phone, they are all crypto. You know the pattern that you create. Some can create a pattern of Z. So if you pick the person phone and you are just creating the line of any other, it will tell you that it won't tally. You understand? It won't tally. It won't tally. Then later I tell you that wait for 50 something seconds before you can re-enter the what password again. But the owner who did that know the patterns. So he said what crypto what system. That is an old system that they are using just for encryption of what data transmissions. Sorry, and whenever data is transmitted from one place to another, it's not secure. If data is being transmitted, it's not secure. If a policeman is coming to arrest somebody or is going to arrest somebody, he will tell the person that don't say anything because whatever that you say is not secure to go against you. Me, you just said it. Whether you insult me, you do whatever, any word that you will say, maybe you don't know that the policeman that is standing there is having some recorder. So they can stand on what you just said to what? I following it because you said something that is not protected. So for me to protect it, sometimes our mothers and old grandma and granddad, they have some words they've been saying. Sometimes they will say the words, unless you have to go and ask them, Granny, what did you say? I heard you say something, pal. But or you don't have those proverbs. Eh? Yeah, there are some proverbs they will tell you that. Let me just give you one example. That Okoton Wanoma, you understand? Which means a crab cannot give birth to what? A bird. A crab cannot give birth to what? A bird. We are seeing it as a what? Just a normal thing. But behind it, there is explanation. If there is a woman who always insults, he like insulting, she does his things anyhow, definitely that woman will give birth to the same child that looks like her behavior. So the crab can never give birth to what? A bird. A crab must give birth to what? A crab. But Okoton Wanoma, when you say something like that, it's like a promise that you don't understand. But behind it, there is what? So the words just came out, but it has quoted it. Are you following it? Yeah. So it's good you've asked such a question. It's good. But sometimes when you don't ask, it will be very difficult for somebody to explain. Mm. He said, whatever that comes from your mouth is more dangerous than the one you take in. True of us. True of us. Eh? Shall we continue? Jeff, do you understand now? Are you okay? Kelly, Buba, Teresa, are you okay? Okay, let's continue. The rest, they refuse to come. Let's continue. Now, they said the command to generate the RSA encryption key pairs for router 3 is now secure. Now, let's verify the SSH and see what will happen. Let's go straight to privilege mode. So just type end and WR to just save, build the configuration and save it. Then type show IP SSH. Then enter. Show IP SSH. You said authentication timeout is 120 seconds. Authentication retries is what? 3. By the timeout, we will change it to 90. Are you getting it? I'm coming to show you the explanation and also explain what is there. It said SSH is what? Enable. True or false? We just did. SSH is what? Enable. And it's having a version of what? 1.99. I hope you have yours like that. Perfect. But there is something there is telling us that authentication timeout. So let's say if I log in into the router, if I log in inside the router and I'm not attending to the configuration of the router, it will take the router to log out 120 what? Seconds. So after 120 seconds, it will log you out. Second thing also is telling us here is that authentication retries. Whenever you take somebody's phone and the person has what? And the person has locked his phone or her phone, and you want to log in, how many tries you been tampering with? 3 times, oh? So you want to do always two, only two. When you enter 1, and then it said no, the password you entered is not correct. You enter 2, the password is not correct. Then the system has to reset it again. By the time it's too much, so we'll make it what? 90 or any other time that you want. If 60, you can make it 60. Okay. 60 seconds. But 90 seconds is so I think it's okay. 90 seconds is how many? 1 minute 30 seconds. So 60 seconds is what? 1 minute. So within 1 minute at least you can type your password. Okay, let's go. Shall we? Let's go to configuration. Config T. Let's go to config T. Now type, we are going to configure the authentication timeout and authentication what? Retries. Okay, I told you that authentication timeout, you are going to make it what? 90. Then authentication retries, you are going to make it 2. Are you following it? 2. Okay, so let's type IP SSH, then bring the question tag. You see timeout, authentication retries. They are there. You seen it? Have you seen it? So let's type the timeout first. The timeout is going to be 90. Enter. Then you type the IP SSH authentication retries. You make it 2. Then IP SSH version, specify the protocol version to be what? Supported. So we have our version which is 1.99, and if it's 1.99, equivalent have to be 2. So let's choose 2 versions. So upgraded or fit. Okay, you know there is the version is what? Look, and SSH enable is here. The version is what? 1.99. So if we are here and we choose the version of what? 2, is the same as what? Version of 199. Now, enter and let's go. Let's go straight to type end, then copy, run, copy, running -config -startup, enter twice, then WR to write. Then you are good to go. Yes, you said upgrade version of version 1. The version. The version is the model. Your mobile phone, what version are you using? The mobile phone you are using is what version? You said iPhone, what you are using? You said 13 Pro Max. Eh, so if 13 Pro Max and now you said, okay, let me upgrade it to 14. Do you have 14? And we said 14. You have upgraded it to what? 14. So if somebody asks you, will you say that 13 Pro Max still? 18. Ah, okay. Okay. But the version is the software. Okay, then if so, the version becomes what? The upgraded, yes, upgraded side of what? The old software that you are using. But not all software you can upgrade it. You are using. So if you are using lesser phone and you've seen any upgrade on the internet and you upgrade it, your phone will malfunction. Okay. Thank you very much, Jeff. Okay, let's move on. Now it's time for us for connectivity. Uh, Now it's time for connectivity. It said we are going to the SSH client to log inside the system to see whether the connectivity will work. Okay, so let's try our best to do this. Log inside this one. So we want to stand on the PC. You see this PC, BFSSH client. You want to stand on this one. Teresa, we want to stand on this one to log in into the router. At first, we were standing on this one to log inside, but now we want to stand on what? So let me just go straight to this one and log out. Let me log out. Let me type exit. Let's type exit so that it will be like this. Okay. Let's close this one and just double click on the BFSSH to, to test our connectivity. So for us to test the connectivity, go to desktop. We are not going to pass through the terminal, but we go to command prompt. You see? So standing on the command prompt to enter into the what? The router. Can't you see it's unbelievable? Can't you see? First, we want to test our telnet to see whether maybe the telnet that we have configured. But we know that we went there, but we didn't configure telnet. You know that. Now, but if you know you have already chosen all, then it means that both telnet and what? SSH. But let us do the connections of what? Telnet and see whether it will go through. So type telnet. Then type the IP address of the router. And the IP address of the router is what? 192.168.5.1. So 192.168.5.1. Then you enter. It tells you that trying to connect 192.168 is open all right, but the connection to that one closed by foreign world host. It has been closed because you've not configured it. You've not configured it at all. Using it, you experience the same thing. But if you choose all, telnet also is included. But we only went there to choose what? SS what? H. So for us to choose the SSH, type SSH hyphen L space the username. But you remember the username. The username is BF admin1. Then you type the server's what? IP address 192.168.5.1. The router's IP address. Enter. It's asking you the password. So enter the password. Have you seen that you are inside the router? Which line did we pass through? Are you there now? Are you there, guys? Yes. Yes, only one password. But we are not using the line console. So that name, listen, type exit. Type exit. Have you seen your exit? Now bring it again. You know the password is asking you. You know the password is asking you. The password is asking you is the password of BF admin1. When we were creating the user ID, we type password. So it covers everything. Now type the password. You are inside. Now type config T. It's coming. Order. It's coming. It's a big mistake that you have done. You put hyphen one instead of hyphen L. I said hyphen L. Other side. Oh, Isado. Isado. He said, yes, I did. Okay, so now let's try our best and see whether we will put a machine here. Okay, let's put one machine here. Let's say, look, let's put a laptop here. Okay, and that laptop, let's connect using the straight through cable to the switch. Then we'll provide an IP address according to the IP address we have inside this one, like this. So we'll be given to this one as 150. As 150, so 150 like this. So we are going to configure this one also to have the communication, but we'll be standing on this one and see whether we can log in into the router 3. Are you following it? So let's click this particular one that I'm talking about, the laptop. Let's give an IP address first before we can do the necessary configuration. So 192.168.10.15. Then the router is what? The default gateway 192.168.10.1. Then the DNS 192.168.10.201. 201. Are you there? Okay. First, let's ping the router 3. That is 192.168.5.1. So let's ping that one first. 192.168.5.1. Have you seen it pinging? How many of you have yours pinged? It's pinging. Only one. Only Musa said his own is pinging. What about the rest online too? Jeff, is yours pinging? It's pinging. So I have two. Kelly and hurry up. I want to see whether Teresa is pinging. Okay, so Teresa's one also is pinging. Then let's see. Buba, are you pinging the same machine? You say yours is pinging. I remember I was teaching like this and I asked, how many of you have yours pinged? And a student just boldly told me, oh, say mine is pinging. And this one too was saying, mine is pinging, mine is pinging. I went back and checked. Not when the guy was pinging the same machine. Bube's own is not pinging. Unreachable. Shall we continue? You are in trouble. You are in trouble because Kelly, what about you? You are not lost. Yes. Just turn on the laptop, the one that we just connected. We gave an IP address. This one. We gave an IP address. So at least and ping the router thing. But we just erase the configuration. So try your best and configure the IP address. Then let's let's do this by SSH -L BF admin 192.168. Is what number? Is dot 5.1. 5.1. Oh, is that password? Okay. Really? So I can stand as far as the laptop that is using 192.168.10.150 to log inside and configure the router 3. Wow. How many of you have yours connected successful? I'm inside the router 3. Aziz, are you there? Excellent. Who else? Then log inside like how I did. Hey, look at what I did on the screen. Teresa, are you there? Hey, Uber, we need deliverance. Oh. Okay, another first model has finished, at least configuration. Tomorrow, God willing, we'll be configuring what we call the AAA, the triple A's, authentication. Tricky topic, another tricky topic, but we'll take it cool and configure it and make things so successful. And I thank all of you, at least those physical, virtual, online, those who are listening to me. Thank you very much. At least don't forget to what? Share the page and also tell them to subscribe. I'll be very much appreciative if you can do this. But try your best and reconfigure things again yourself. Okay? Yes, try your best and make sure that you configure. Kelly, you are in now. And go back. Hey, you configure before going home today. No, you are not. No, like it will come post unreachable. You solve it. Okay, so thank you guys. I love you all. We will meet once again. And still the configuration goes on. You said never give up until you have reached your final destination. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow.